Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3681. Today's date is November 2nd, 2025. It's been almost like night at 10:47 p.m. Alright, let's just jump into the question. Okay. Now, question is, what if relationship were based solely on logic? Oh, that is really good question. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is what if question. Why am I asking this question to myself? What if question is always really interested way to give the answer. It kind of like force you to think about that reality. When I construct that reality or when I create that reality inside of my mind, it really required kind of like some particular knowledge, information or experience. Okay, and when I try to express that emotions, knowledge, experience and everything again inside of my mind and using very creative way, it kind of like feels really good. I don't know why, how it's kind of like feels really good, because it's not really sure, but it felt like that key. It's good. It's something that it kind of like simply adding some sort of value inside of me. Okay, yeah. And I'm kind of like think about that point of perspective too. It creates another branches in my head to kind of like think about that way, so that I would think like that way. I don't know how do I supposed to explain it. It's a very complicated, but it feels good. Okay. Disclaimer: the information that I'm trying to tell you, or when I try to create that reality from that knowledge and experience, that knowledge experience that I have is not exactly right or is not exactly wrong either. It's just my opinion. Okay, yeah. It's just raw, it's unfiltered. Okay, yeah. So basically, do not seek or do not believe in any kind of like some information that I'm trying to tell you. It is just my opinion. If you need any valid answer, go to the internet, you will get the entire right information. Alright, now proceed. It is just my opinion. Alright, now let's come back to the question. The question says that, what if, where it is question? Okay, the relationship were based solely on logic. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, first of all, what is actually relationship and what is actually its meaning? The question of the meaning says, what if the relationship is actually based on logic? Now, you know relationship. Okay, yeah. Let's take a kind of like a simple example, boy-girl relationship. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now we kind of like simply based on logic. Okay, yeah. A logic means what? A logic means like that ki you are kind of like a something. Okay, let's just comparison. Okay, yeah. When you do comparison, you kind of like understand bit more better. Okay, yeah. Situation number one. Okay, yeah. You have a kind of like some idea. Okay, yeah. And you wanted to start a business. Okay, yeah. Now you need a partner. Okay, yeah. As a kind of like a CFO. Okay, because you have idea, you will gonna execute. Okay, yeah. But you need help. Okay, yeah. So you need your CFO. Okay, financial officer or things like that, which is equivalent to a partner. Okay, let's just say business partner. Business partner would be really good. Okay, yeah. So you want a kind of like you have idea, but you don't know how do you supposed to execute. You need a kind of like a particular person that kind of like help you to execute your idea, and you found that particular person. Now basically this is person will kind of like do it unless you became a partner. Okay, yeah. So when you decide you and that particular person became a partner, then you kind of like create a contract. In this particular contract, you and your partner will kind of like making sure that what kind of like how do we supposed to lead this particular business, what kind of like consequences happen, what kind of like something that argument will gonna happen between us, and how does our relationship like with the partnership, how does it kind of like affect the business and things like that. As a contract has a entire kind of like a only possibility that what went wrong and how do we supposed to make sure that it will not affect our business, or making sure that business should supposed to be go smooth, it does not really affect on us. Okay, yeah. So we have this multiple of contract. Okay, yeah. And we will make sure that me and that my partner, business partner, will follow that particular things that written on the contract. Okay, yeah. If we violate that particular rule, or if we kind of like will not follow that particular rule, or we break the contract, that means kind of like somebody create some sort of kind of like somebody like a not good thing. Like basically other person will, if other person will not follow the rule, then probably that other person might gonna kind of like somebody away from this contract, or broke the contract, or might be have a kind of like some legal actions and consequences and things like that, because he didn't really follow the rule. Okay, yeah. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, this is the contract has a kind of like some multiple possibility that how do we supposed to solve our issues and everything, and how do we supposed to make sure that our business should supposed to be go progress and growth and things like that. Okay, so this is kind of like a partnership. It's called logical partnership. Means like that you and your business partner are kind of like a connected with the contract, yes, and also you are kind of like a taking decision according to the business point of perspective to make sure your business went really good and great. Okay, yeah. But you also kind of like do it very logically from every point of perspective. Your emotional angle is not really even attached, nothing really at all. Everything is actually happened written logically, kind of like a contract based thing. Okay, yeah. And this will if this particular logic based kind of like relationship is kind of like responsible for growth and things like that. Okay, yeah, because no one will gonna kind of like broke the rules, and everyone will follow the contract and things like that, and if everyone follow the rules, everyone follow the contract, then it kind of like give the guarantee to growth of the business and things like that. Okay, yeah. Now this is the consequence number 1. Okay, yeah. Now let's compare to the consequence number 2. Okay, yeah. There is a guy who kind of like married with a girl. Okay, yeah. Now before the married, they kind of like known for almost like 6 months. Okay, yeah. Like basically they kind of like hang out for a couple of months. After that they got an engagement, and after a month they got married. Okay, yeah. So basically before the marriage they both know each other for almost like 6 months. That's it. Okay, yeah. Now after they married, they kind of like realize so many things regarding about partner, like when he wake up, when he sleep, or everything, not just kind of like a stuff. Okay, yeah. There is no kind of like a written record, there is no contract between them, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. There is just an emotional connection between one person, that boy person and girl person. Okay, yeah. And everything happened emotionally. Okay, yeah. And sometimes they kind of like a fight, sometimes they kind of like a laugh, sometimes they kind of like a somebody very much sad or things like that, sometimes they are very angry, sometimes they just, yeah, it's a mix of all the emotions. Now what about the logic? In this boy girl relationship, there is a logic is actually involved. Well, yeah, logically, yeah, somewhat something involved, but there is no written involved. Like basically in the business partner there is a logic, there is a kind of like a contract, is a kind of like a somebody evidence of logic, is the entire thing is actually written on that contract. In the relationship, in the boy girl relationship, there is no kind of like a somebody the written contract, but there is a some sort of logic. Okay, logic means what? A logic means like that ki, like every day you have to wake up and you have to go to the office and things, and that for that particular purposes you have to make me breakfast and things like that. Yeah, these are kind of like some certain kind of like a things that girls could follow, boy could follow, and things like that. These are kind of like a significant kind of like some logic are actually involved. But there is some sort of time where girl doesn't really have any mood to kind of like do the breakfast, or boy doesn't really want to go to the office or things like that. There is might be things. Means what I'm trying to tell you, the logic is actually exist in boy girl relationship, but there is not in written contract, nothing really at all, they just verbally. Okay, now this is kind of like two consequences. Okay, yeah. A business partnership and kind of like a something a boy girl relationship. Okay, Now if I have to kind of like a look at the both the perspective, what is kind of like a simply responsible for growth? Yeah, like let's just say growth. If I'm gonna say a business point of perspective, a business want to growth, for that particular purpose, that contract is very much essential. So in this particular context, logic is kind of like a work really good for growth. Okay, yeah. Now what if that logic is kind of like simply attached into the boy girl relationship? Now if the logic, like basically the boy and girl are kind of like simply create a kind of like simply a contract based relationship. Oh yeah, like instead of kind of like a relationship, they make a kind of like a contract based relationship. Means like that what should supposed to be boy do, what should supposed to be girl do regarding about every activity and things and that and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. Now because of boy and girl kind of like a simply sign up that particular contract, okay, or agreement. So basically boy should supposed to be follow everything, should supposed to be recorded in the contract, as well as girl should supposed to be follow everything is actually written in the contract. Okay, yeah. So when this thing is actually happened, things might be very different in this particular context. What kind of what kind of things happen? Things happen is that when girl and boy are actually connected and when they are started living the life, like what I'm trying to tell you, okay, yeah. Basically is this thing. Let me give you kind of like a little bit of context regarding about everything, since where is this actually started and stuff like that. Okay. Also, I'm kind of like giving my opinion. Okay, yeah. Okay. So basically, what exactly is this thing? Where is this kind of like a relationship will started and stuff like that? Why is this that? Okay. Yeah. Now, in early period of life, okay, since the kind of like humans are kind of like surviving kind of like a hunter and gatherers and things like that. Okay, yeah. At that time, there is a kind of like a person cannot live by themselves. Okay, we don't have any fur and nothing at all. It's why I'm kind of like going to like a very far away from topic. You just have to tell me now what exactly kind of like consequences will happen if the kind of like a relationship will actually work on logic. Well, if the relationship is actually work with the logic, then probably we will become robots now, dude. I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. It's just like that, na. Okay, yeah. If I love someone, that's very emotional decision, and when I love with particular person, it's a very personal and deep connection. Okay, yeah. And that connection has a particular value that doesn't compare with money and nothing really at all. Okay, it's just like that ki whoever the person that I will gonna marry, or whoever the person I will gonna love with that particular person, it doesn't really comes with a cost. No, it comes with a kind of like a something really value that she will be with me till the end of my lifetime. Okay, yeah, end of the lifetime. So it's a kind of like a something that required something that a oath or whatever it is to kind of like making sure that particular person with me till the end of the lifetime. Now basically what I'm trying to tell you means end of the lifetime means what? End of the lifetime means till the end of the lifetime. What I'm trying to tell you, we are humans and we change according to the scenario, as well as we change according to the time. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing. When I was a kid, I love watching Ben 10. Right now I don't watch any kind of like a cartoon, nothing really at all. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing. My perspective changed according to the time. When I was kind of like age, it kind of like changes happen inside of me. Okay, yeah. And not just me, everything is actually happened. Okay, yeah. Since we kind of like grow, our choices became different. Okay, yeah. Like basically the way that we like, it's not kind of like a completely opposite gonna happen. No, it kind of like happens slowly. According to the age, your preference change. The way that you live is change. The way that you want is actually change. Okay, yeah. And this is kind of like something relative change, and it actually happened with everybody. Okay, yeah. It actually happened with everybody. Now what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. When you married with that particular person, okay, yeah, you have to be accept that particular change. Means that the person that you are loving right now is really good, really great, really cute, and really amazing, and really smart, and things, and that. After 20 years, that particular person might be a kind of like something anxious or things or that. Okay, yeah, because a person can change according to the time. Okay, yeah, and that is kind of like something sure. Being a marriage, you have to be accept that change. Okay, you have to accept that change, that your partner should supposed to be changed, as well as you should supposed to be changed too. Okay, yeah. Now what I'm trying to tell you, when you are going through that all, when you're going through that changes, okay, your body change, your personality change according to your partner, and their personality will gonna change too. So you have to be kind of like somebody connected in such a very different way. Okay, yeah, you need a connection, and that connection doesn't really kind of like a written by kind of like simply words or things or logic. No, nothing really at all. Because when you are kind of like living the life with some other person, there are multiple consequences happen that you don't know. Okay, yeah, you don't know. Okay, logic cannot explain that thing. Let me give you context. Okay, yeah, in business partner, okay, yeah, in business partner contract, there is a everything actually written regarding about what kind of like business partner should supposed to be do regarding about business will collapse or grow or things or that. Okay, yeah, because what kind of like some consequences will gonna happen regarding about business are predictable. Okay, yeah, predictable. Yeah, there is a kind of like some unpredictable consequences will gonna happen, but still there is some sort of clause can kind of like a written in the contract. Okay, yeah, and basically we would kind of like make sure that business should supposed to be grow and further and things like that. But in personal connection, when we are kind of like a say boy girl relationship, there is a consequences happen that is very unpredictable. Consequences happen very unpredictable that you don't know what kind of like a partner that what you don't know what kind of like somebody that your wife will went through, you don't know your husband will gonna went through. Millions of billions of consequences will gonna happen. So that's why logic is actually fail in kind of like a somebody creating this particular kind of like a somebody contract or things like that. So we need a connection which is far beyond that logic, and that connection called emotion. Okay, yeah, and that emotion is actually connected by love. Okay, yeah, that emotion is actually connected by love and care and things like that. Like there is a multiple stages of love. Okay, let me give you the context. Okay, not context. Okay, let me give you kind of like a simple example. Okay, yeah, and as also you have to be kind of like a look at around yourself. These are kind of like things that actually exist too. Okay, now I am at the age of 17. Okay, let's just say I am the age of almost like 18. Okay, yeah, I like this particular girl. She is actually my classmate. I went with her. I kind of like propose her. She like me. I like her. Okay, yeah. So at the early stages of when you are falling with love are very much intense, very much intense. So what is actually that called? That is called attraction. Okay, yeah, because you are in that particular age where you like another gender, as well as she also like you because you are the another gender. Okay, yeah. So you are not fall in love, you are just attracted towards her, and this is just attraction. Okay, this is just attraction. In the attraction, you are kind of like a somebody try to help with her, try to kind of like a care and things and that and something like that. Okay, yeah, because yeah, like basically what are you trying to tell you? Like those people are not fall in love. No, love comes later. Okay, yeah, this is just an attraction. Okay, yeah, like you are really attracted, your body really attracted. Okay, yeah, let me tell you one test. Let me tell you, this attraction is actually happen if you are kind of like somebody early 20s or maybe till kind of like early 20s. Okay, yeah, like basically if your age is almost like let's just say like 17, 18, 19, 20 or 21. Okay, yeah, like till the age of 21 or 22, this is called kind of like assembly attraction. Okay, yeah. Now you and your girlfriend are kind of like assembly been with for almost like a 4 year. Okay, yeah, 4 year, and now you are almost like a 22, as well as your girlfriend is also 22. Okay, yeah. Now you are fall in love. Okay, yeah, that is second stage of kind of like assembly love. Okay, yeah. now you fall in love. Now what exactly love means? What? Okay, in this love, attraction became gone. Attraction became gone. You are actually connected with each other. Now what's exactly connected? What exactly it means? Okay, it means that when you are fall in love, you genuinely love that person, but you also have different attraction towards other person too. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing: attraction is gone, but you love. Like basically, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing: have you ever kind of like some experience? I don't know, I haven't really experienced this thing, but I seen in my surrounding area, and that's why I'm kind of like some experiencing. I'm trying to tell you. Okay, I never really been in a relationship, so if you don't really want it to kind of like take advice from me, so don't take it. But I just kind of like experience from situation and surrounding, and I'm look at surrounding, and I kind of like a sense from that my point of perspective and what I'm trying to tell you right here. Okay. Your age is less than 20, that is called attraction. Okay, in the attraction, you are not loving this person, you have just attraction. Okay, when you have this attraction, you are not looking anyone. Let's just say I am a boy. Okay, I love my age is almost like let's just say my age is 19, as well as my girlfriend in age is almost like a 19. Okay, I attracted towards her, she also attracted towards me. Okay, because of we have both attraction towards each other. Okay, we are not looking at anyone at all. Okay, like there is a kind of like a hot girls in the college, but I don't really take care of that because I already attracted towards this particular girl. Okay, now my age is 22, my girlfriend age is also 22. Okay, now what exactly happened? I have very deep connection with that particular woman that I love. Now I cross that attraction. Now I am being in love with that particular girl. Okay, I'm really in love with that particular girl. Okay, but attraction exists. Means like that at the age of 22, I went to kind of like a some particular office. Okay, or maybe I went to kind of like a some college. Okay, and I seen a particular girl. I attracted towards that particular girl. I love my girlfriend, but I attracted towards another girl. Okay, and this is actually happened. It actually happened. It happened with a boy. It actually happened with a girl too. Okay, it actually happened with a girl too. This is a second stage. Okay, this is actually second stage, and in this second stage, that's why most of the kind of like relationship fail in this thing, because they don't know that what exactly is this thing. Okay, they think that I love this particular girl, but I attracted toward that girl too. Okay, same thing happened with the girls too. Okay, I love this boy, but I also attracted toward this boy too. Okay, and this is why most of the kind of like relationship fail at this point. Okay, but basically what exactly happened? Okay, now let me define what is actually love in this particular context. Your age is 22. Your girlfriend age is 22. You are really love that particular person. Okay, now what exactly love means? What a love means like that you really love this particular person. Now what is actually meaning of love? It's a very kind of like very, I'm trying to tell you kind of like simply just what I experience. I might be kind of like completely wrong in this particular context because I haven't really experienced, but I seen. Okay, okay, so let me give you, imagine your age is 22, your girlfriend age is 22. At some certain scenario, your girlfriend got the admission at somewhere different college in different city. Okay, now your girlfriend is actually went to that particular different city. Now you actually feel that emptiness. Okay, that emptiness is kind of like simply consider as a lack of love. Means like that you are not actually getting the love, because of that the girl that you love is far away from you. You cannot contact them or things or that. You might gonna contact, but still is very less and things like that. Okay, so basically you are started missing her. Okay, that is called kind of like simply lack of love. Means like that you love this person, but unfortunately that particular person actually kind of like a went away and things like that. Okay, yeah. This is called kind of like a something love. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of like a repeat this scenario in attraction level. Let's just say my age is 19, my girlfriend age is 19, we both are attracted towards each other. I propose that particular girl. Okay, yeah. But in some certain context, that girl went to different college in different city. Okay, yeah. Now you didn't really miss her. You might gonna miss at some certain point. Okay, yeah. But not the way that you miss. Because let me tell you one thing. When like basically is this thing, you haven't really spent that much amount of time. Let me give you context. At the age of 18, I proposed that particular girl. At the age of 19, she went away. Went away means like that, went to the another college or another city. Okay, yeah. So basically, I spent almost like a year. Okay, yeah. I miss her. Okay, yeah. But I didn't really miss her that much. Okay, I didn't really miss her that much because you never really complete this attraction step. Okay, yeah. You never really complete this attraction step. Okay, yeah. And because of she went away, suddenly you just found something, another girl is attractive and you just attracted and you just, yeah. So basically what is actually happened, you just move on. Okay, yeah. Basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, at the early stage of attraction, if the girl or boy went away or kind of like have a distance in between them, so basically what is actually happened, that key in the move on takes, or kind of like a breakups take very much easy. Okay, yeah, like it doesn't really get that much pain. Okay, you haven't really feel that much pain that much. Like basically is this thing, na, at the attraction level, she actually went away or the boy is actually went away. Okay, yeah, you can easily break up. Okay, you can easily break up because you never really went cross that attraction level. Okay, but when you cross that attraction level, your age is 22, okay, yeah, and your girlfriend age is 22, and she actually went away, and when this thing actually happened, you are started missing her. Okay, and you are missing her a lot, really lot. Okay, yeah. Now let me give you context. Okay, yeah. Because of she is not exist, and because of you are missing her, your attraction level is gone. Okay, means in your office there is a hot girl actually came, but because of you are actually missing your girlfriend, you are not really attracted towards that girl. Why? Let me give you context of why it actually happened. Okay, yeah. Because of we are human and we are value for things are limited in exist. Okay, now what exactly is this thing? Okay, yeah. If let me give you this another example. Okay, yeah. My age is 22, my girlfriend age is 22, my girlfriend is with me. Like basically I am in the city and girlfriend is also in my city too. Okay, yeah. Now I already crossed the attraction level, I am in love. Okay, yeah. But in my office there is a hot girl actually came, I attracted towards her. Okay, yeah. But in this particular context, when your girlfriend is actually gone, and then there is a kind of like a hot girl is actually came into your office, you haven't really feel that much attraction towards that girl. Why? Because we actually value the things that we lost. Okay, we value the thing that we lost. Okay, yeah. In this particular context, that girl is actually far away, the girlfriend is actually far away, so you actually a particular thing that you lost. Okay, yeah. And you, because of the things that you lost, it has kind of like simply having its own value in itself. And when it have value in ourself, the attraction towards other girl is gone. Okay, this actually happened. Okay, you get it. This is at level number 1, attraction. Level number 2, love. Okay, this is called kind of like something love. Okay, yeah. In this particular context, that particular girl is kind of like went away. Okay, but you kind of like maintain the distance relationship and things and that and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, it is very hard to maintain the distance relationship and things and that, but you can kind of like make sure that your relationship kind of like a really good and things and that. So you kind of like a phone call or kind of like a surprise visit or things or that to make it kind of like a something, make it kind of like a something really good, things like that. That is called your love. You are kind of like a fall in love, and this is kind of like a somebody you are actually express love towards that particular girl and things like that. Even if you're kind of like a have kind of like a somebody the another like a issues or things like that, but you actually solve. Okay, and that is called love. Okay, yeah. Now at the age of 27, let's just say your relationship is sustained for that particular time. Okay, yeah. Now you are the 27, your girlfriend is 27. Okay, yeah. Now you are married. Okay, yeah, you actually kind of like convince your parents and things and that, and you are actually married. Okay, yeah. Now when you are married, okay, yeah, let me tell you, married is a kind of like a somebody creates its own emotional state. By the way, married is not a kind of like a emotional state. Okay, yeah. But since this marriage culture is actually established, the marriage concept is kind of like a creates its own emotion. Now, what is actually own emotion? What exactly it means that? Okay, yeah. Now, basically, is this thing in the attraction level, you are living at your home, your girlfriend is actually living at her home. Okay, yeah. But you still kind of like have attraction. At the age of 22, you are living at your home, your girlfriend is actually living at her home. Okay, or in other context, she is actually living another city or things like that. Okay, yeah. But you are actually far away. But after the marriage, things change. This is the first time you are kind of like a live together. Okay, you are kind of like a live together. But yeah, like basically when you are in love, when you are in attraction level, you are kind of like a still live together too, but you are living together for a couple of days or things or that. Okay, yeah. But after the marriage, you are kind of like living together for rest of the lifetime. Okay, and that is change happened. That is change happened. After the marriage, things change. Okay, yeah. Because right now you are kind of like a have relationship for almost like a maybe 7, 8, 9 year. Okay, yeah. And after you married, things change. Okay. You understand each other in very much deeply. Okay. Now deeply means what? Deeply means a very small detail. Okay. When he wake up, how he snore, how he like to eat, how does he eat. Okay, yeah. Does he throw wet towel on the bed, or does he kind of like a simply do it very properly? Does he clean this room? Does he not? Like everything. As a kind of like a boy understand regarding about girl, and girl is also understand regarding about boy, that how he is living and how she is also living too. Okay, yeah. And you are adjusting regarding about that to yourself. As well as, let me give you, okay, yeah. Before, when you are in love level or when you are in attraction level, you and your girlfriend are both person are actually involved. Okay, yeah. But after the marriage, okay, yeah, you involve as well as your family is also involved, boy involved as well as boy's family is also involved too. Okay, yeah. So there is multiple people are actually involved in this relationship. Okay, yeah. Now, what is actually multiple people? What is actually that? Like, why? What is actually their kind of like a matter? It matter as well as like basically I'm talking about as an Indian point of perspective. In India, marriage is considered as a kind of like a very holistic event. Okay, where kind of like a boys families and girl family are connected with each other, and they are kind of like a share their values and things like that. Okay, so basically yes, after the marriage, as a boy's family and girls families are actually involved, and it matter in it affect on the relationship. Okay, it affect on relationship. Okay, so basically is this thing what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, in this particular context you understand that particular boy, you understand that particular girl, as well as you understand that boy's family, as well as you understand the girl families too, and regarding about that changes, you are kind of like adjusting that changes regarding about your life choices, jobs, things and that. Like basically you are adjusting regarding about, okay, like basically is this thing, my father-in-law like to read at, like to kind of like a drink tea at early morning, so basically I should supposed to wake up and make a tea. Okay, yeah. as well as kind of like from the boy's point of perspective, there is a kind of like a multiple things. Okay, yeah, like there is a kind of like adjusting thing happen. Okay, from boy's point of perspective as well as girl point of perspective, there is also issues too. Okay, there is also issues will gonna come up. Okay, yeah, you have to solve that issues. Okay, and according to the issue, you are kind of like simply try to adjust according to every scenario and things like that. Okay, yeah, now this is actually happened. Now you are at the age of 29, your girlfriend is at the age of 29. Now you had a baby. Okay, yeah, when you had a baby, it creates responsibility. Okay, yeah, and when you add a responsibility, that responsibility is kind of like a simply diminish some sort of thing. What's there is some sort of thing? Attraction gone, love is gone. Okay, yeah, in this particular context, you are in partner level. Okay, means like the after you marriage, you are kind of like adjusting and things like that. But when you had a baby, you are kind of like a simply doing as a partner. Okay, yeah, means as a girl as a partner, boy as a partner. Okay, yeah, you don't really have love in between them. You have it, like there is nothing really, you have it, but it has very less as compared to beginning level. Okay, yeah, let me give you context. At the attraction level, you are so much attracted, 10 out of 10. At the love stage, you are kind of like attracted, you are kind of like have love, 10 out of maybe 8 or maybe 7. Okay, yeah, but in very different context. Okay, there is a rating is not kind of like somebody evaluate the every possibility. It's a very change according to its time. But when you had a responsibility, when you had a baby, it creates the responsibility, and that responsibility kind of like a fade out little bit relationship in between you and that particular boy. Okay, yeah, because now you look at that particular person as a partner, and you and your partner will kind of like make sure that how do you handle the responsibility regarding about every choices. Where should that baby come out? Okay, what kind of like a school things and that, like everything, like when you add the responsibility, it just had multiple consequences, like from huggies to napkins to kind of like assembly sushi potty, god knows what. Okay, yeah, and this is what. Okay, yeah, this is called kind of like assembly partner level is actually started. Okay, yeah, and that partner level is actually started. Okay, yeah, and it ended after the boy kind of after your responsibility, means your baby is actually went to another kind of like a went to college or things like that, or maybe kind of like assembly existing till your baby kind of like a went to 15 at the age of 15. Okay, yeah, so basically your responsibility means your baby will come from 0 age to 15 age. Since this 15 age, that means that 15 year you and your husband or wife is became a partner. You are kind of like doing relationship as a partner. Okay, yeah, now after the 15 year, things change. Your responsibility means your baby, or that baby is kind of like became a teenage boy. That teenage boy has a kind of like has its own dream, and he can achieve like a basically existing as a parents doesn't really have to be involved with that baby's decision, things like that. That 15-year-old boy could kind of like manage himself everything regarding about he can eat, he can do, and everything at all. And that particular context, in that after this particular thing, there is a kind of like a different relationship start. Okay, between boy and between the girl. What kind of relationship start? Care. Okay, and that then after that there is a kind of like a different relationship start, that is called care. Okay, that means you are starting care to that particular person. Means like that I had a wife. Okay, yeah, and I am care for that particular person. Okay, now you kind of like an establishment as a care. Okay, and you are kind of like a move towards as a kind of like a simply care relationship. Okay, care relationship throughout the rest of the lifetime. Okay, so this is all kind of like a simply a cycle between boy and girl, what kind of like a went through and this and that and that. Okay, in this particular context I specifically talk about age and specifically talk about the number. Okay, why I kind of like a bit really focus on number is because of that ki our mentality is actually changed according to the our age. Okay, yeah. But if you are kind of like a person who started falling in love at the age of 20, okay, yeah, so probably your attraction level might be very less, okay, and your love relationship start very quickly, okay, yeah. Because of that, key, like basically is this thing, if your relationship is actually start before the 20s, that means your attraction level is kind of like a bit more bigger, okay, yeah. If you are falling in love with that particular person after the age of 20 or after the age of 25 or things like that, then your attraction level will kind of like simply become smaller. Let's just say smaller means like that 3 months to 6 months, okay, yeah. And then the love relationship start, okay, yeah. It also change according to it, okay, yeah. Means like that ki after the age of kind of like 20-25, you are kind of like a have little bit of maturity regarding about how do you see the world from your point of perspective, okay, yeah. And because of you are at the age of 25, you have a lot of controlling power of your choices, that what should you supposed to do and things and that, okay, yeah. And you can choose a kind of like a valuable kind of like a partner or valuable kind of like a person that kind of like a been with you and things like that, okay, yeah. What exactly is this thing? Okay, yeah, is this thing that key the attract, like basically is this thing that our age is kind of like a very much impact on our choices, okay, yeah. Okay, because before the age of 20 you are kind of like somebody choosing anyone, yeah. You are kind of like somebody really pathetic and you don't know what is exactly life and things like that, and whoever the person is kind of like somebody kind of like a propose you and you say yes, and you will kind of like make sure that particular person stay with your life and things like that, okay, yeah. You will kind of like take this decision at before the age of 20, okay, yeah. But after the age of 20 or after the age of 25, you are kind of like a choosing your partner very wisely, yeah, very wisely, because of you have kind of like somebody being mature and you are understanding about life is much more better way, okay. So you are kind of like looking at the partner for like much more better way and things like that. Okay, dude, how much time I was talking for almost like a 41 minute. Oh my boy. Okay, yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like literally focused on age number, okay, yeah. But when after you marriage, I didn't really mention that much age number, because after the marriage you are kind of like simply having the whatever the mentality that you've been with, and you are kind of like experience the entire rest of the lifetime, okay, yeah. So basically attraction and love is kind of like a depends on where you kind of like somebody had a love and things and that, okay, get it. So this is kind of like simply the relationship cycle, okay, yeah. Now if I'm kind of like involve logic into this thing, it's not possible. It is definitely not possible. As I mentioned, is business point of perspective, there is a kind of like simply consequences that I could predict. Like if I'm gonna say I have a business partner, what kind of like simply relationship should we supposed to be established? The relationship establishment have predictable choices or predictable consequences that we could understand and things like that. But when you try to concept about love and try to marry and things like that, it has multiple level, as I mentioned, attraction, love, then kind of like a simply partner and kind of like a simply care and things like that. Changes happen. As I mentioned, there is a kind of like a personality change according to time and things like that. And logic is fail with the consequences, because in this particular context there is a billions of consequences will gonna happen. Billions of consequences. Okay, what's a billion? What's everyday consequences? Consequences means like that small issues. Okay, yeah. Your partner throw wet towel at bed. You don't really love it. Consequences. You learn from it. Okay, yeah. There is a lot of things that millions of consequences will gonna happen, and logic is actually fail in that particular thing. Even if I'm kind of like a right everything that you shouldn't supposed to be put kind of like a wet towel in the bed and things and that, but it just consequence one. You just wrote the only one consequences. There is a millions and billions of consequences will gonna happen throughout the rest of lifetime, and you cannot wrote the every single consequences because you cannot predict that thing. So that's why when there is unpredictable, then when there is unpredictability, okay, yeah, logic cannot kind of like win in this particular. Logic cannot kind of like understand unpredictable consequences. So that's why we are kind of like a connected through emotionally. Okay, yeah. That's why we are kind of like connected through emotionally and things like that. Sometimes I just feel like that I am kind of like a love guru or what. I am giving such a lecture that oh my god. And by the way, who is actually fucking saying this thing? I never really been on relationship, and I am saying all those relationship stuff. Oh my god. Like, sometimes I just kind of like suddenly look at myself, dude, where is this come from? I don't know, like basically where is this actually come from? I still asking to myself where the fuck is actually came from? Attraction and love and stages and fuck not. Oh. Okay. The everything that I said is I seen in my eyes. Okay, yeah. I seen people around me and I seen the way that they behave and things like that. I create this evaluation inside of my mind and try to tell you. By the way, I haven't really been on relationship, so I don't know, and I don't really have any kind of like prior information regarding about relationship because I never really been on. So I don't know. Okay, but still I give this information regarding about what I learn from looking at the world and things and that. All right. Okay, so don't believe in me, or maybe kind of like a believe in me. I'm not really sure, it's up to you. Okay, I already kind of like give the disclaimer. All right. Dude, but you are talking like a really fucko. Sometimes I just wanted to laugh at the stuff that I'm saying. Like, where is it actually came from? Like, the knowledge and the way that you are saying is just like, oh my god. like I don't know, sometimes I don't know, like there is a kind of like I don't know why I don't really have any kind of like sometimes I don't know how I'm supposed to explain this thing. Okay, when I record artifact na, okay, yeah, and when I talk about this kind of questions and things and that, I feel that there is a very different person who is actually talking from my mouth that I'm not talking. And that different person is a kind of upgraded version of myself. And it's very kind of like very different. Because let me give you context, na. These are kind of like information that I try to tell you. Okay, yeah. Yes, I seen in my entire period of lifetime. Okay, yeah. I seen the people, and I'm give all those evaluate from my point of perspective. Okay, yeah. I never really been on relationship, dude. I never really had any girlfriend. Okay, yeah. Giving this point of information without having a relationship, how do I supposed to give that thing? Okay, yeah. With that much accurate, it's not possible, but still I gave it. And I don't know why. I don't know how. Okay, yeah. So basically, is sometimes I just feel like that when I try to talk in the artifact, like I am actually talking. Yes, it's not really that key. There is a kind of like this fucked up ghost who actually came inside of me and I'm talking. No. I'm completely aware of everything what I'm trying to talking, but the information that I'm getting is just like basically that information is actually kind of like something inside of my mind at somewhere in the corner that I never really looked at, and because of I asked this question, I kind of looked at that information and try to tell you, just like that. You know, like what the I just don't know. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Sometimes I just kind of like proud of myself that I kind of like talk this shit. Sometimes. Whatever. Okay. But still, everything that I said is just my opinion. Okay, yeah. It's up to you. You have to believe it or not or things like that. I just kind of like tell it from my point of experience. Okay, yeah, or the point of that I'm seeing the world and things like that. Alright? Oh boy. It's been almost like a 59 minute. Alright, this is it. I should supposed to be end here. Thank you.